guys, I have another story. I was just thinking about this. It's another past story. I was just kind of thinking, like, is this normal? I don't think it is. Like, what a douchebag brother my brother is, probably still is. I'm sure he hasn't changed much. First off, he's the type of people that always thinks that people are jealous of him, which no one is. It's got to be like one-upping everybody, which, you know, I remember my sister even saying, like, oh, he doesn't do that with you because you don't have that much. So, you know, it's like, I'm down here. It's like, oh, okay. You know, I'm just not impressed with your material shit, but okay. It was a long time ago when I was getting married to my first husband, and back then I was very insecure, and I was very insecure about bachelor parties. Like, I knew my first husband was, you know, kind of a pig in that way, hence why why he became an ex, by the way. But I just didn't really. I heard about some really raunchy bachelor parties that he talked about before, and it really made me nervous to know that he would be having one and it turn out like that. So I didn't want him to have one, and he's a friend of my brother's, so there you go. There's a dynamic on that. And I don't know if my brother, I don't know what the deal was on that. The whole thing was weird because he always would call the house that we both bought together after we got married, that I used my down payment on my childhood savings on. He'd always call it the guy's house. Like, but he'd call everyone else's house with the female's name involved too. Like, everyone else got credit for their owning homes or place. But when it came to that, it was always his house, never mine. And I never could understand it being I'm a sister. Because I understand, like, sometimes you call it out, like your brother's house, your sister's house, whatever. You don't say my brother and his wife's house. I get it. But I'm a sister. And he would always call it the friend's house instead of mine. I'm like, there's so much disrespect there. And then we were talking about the plans of getting married. And this is when my parents were in the middle of trying to plan it their way, and I did not want to be in some big ass Catholic wedding. I really got really just anxious about the whole damn thing. And on top of that, really didn't want to do the bachelor party. I'm not into the whole wedding bullshit that people have to go through and the money that's wasted. And I just remember my brother was like, yeah, we're going. You're going to go. I'm going to have this bachelor party, not bachelorette party, because I didn't want one of those either. And he didn't care that it really put me in a really bad place in my head. And that's just kind of how he's always been, like, didn't give a shit. And I don't understand why my siblings are like that. Like, why do we hate each other so much that we never can have each other's backs? Like, it's always like an issue. I'm like, why do we even hang out, like go to family gatherings if this is how we feel about each other? But I just never could comprehend, like, did we have an argument or a fight or some kind of bad beef that you would have to be this way towards me? Because my bad beef towards you is because you're being this way towards me. You know, I'm a younger sister. Maybe I was a little weird, but I wasn't evil. Like, I never did anything to him. Like, there was nothing bad. Later, you could say, when I called his marriage out, his first one, he was keeping secret, only because they were calling my wedding with that first husband that we got married in Vegas white trash. Finding out that he did the same thing is what I said, you're going to call my wedding white trash? Look, you did the same thing, dude. Like, excuse me, but I guess she needed a green card, and so he had to hurry up and marry her so she could get her green card, but they held it a secret. And I didn't care. That's your deal, but don't sit there and make fun of my wedding and say it was trashy when you did the exact same thing. So anyway, it still like doesn't click with me. Like, am I forgetting something about this? Is it because I married your friend? Is that what you're mad about? Like, I don't know what the animosity is, but I know had I never married that first guy, I would have never been exposing myself to my brothers and sisters as much, because I never hung out with them. They all hung out with each other, but I was never home. I always made sure I was at my friends' homes. Anybody, my neighbor friends, they all lived across the street, down the block. I was never home. And there must have been a reason. My instinct told me, don't be home. It's not a safe place. But then when I was dating and then I married this guy, all of a sudden with my sisters and brother because they were all friends. And I've never met the most narcissist people in my life. And I didn't know them until now. So that's why I shouldn't have married him. And obviously I'm glad I divorced him. But had I never married him, I probably wouldn't have been in such bitter places in my head from having bad memories because of them. Because my memories had them not in them before marrying him. Because I didn't hang out with them ever. Except if I lived at the house and if they lived there. That was about it. Anyway, that's my story, guys. Thank you guys for listening. And I will talk to you soon. Comment down below if you have any similar stories. Alright, bye.